June 20, 2025. This is the S&P 500 E-futures mini on the 2000 tick chart using NinjaTrader 8. This is what the chart looked like. It was a holiday yesterday. It was Juneteenth. As you can see, it really wasn't worth trading because it's not much volume, not much volatility. So I didn't trade it. I did trade today. I took 2 trades, and unfortunately, both were losers. The second trade is kind of interesting. I think I would have gotten trapped even if I waited for the appropriate setup. So I would have gotten, I think, a guaranteed loss today for sure. And then the first trade was kind of a loss, but I could have done better on that one. There weren't too many setups, and this is the end of the week. Plus, I think this is the quad witching, which they say is like the expiration of a bunch of contracts on the option side, bonds, ETFs, stocks, futures, etc. And overall, and this is also the last day of the trading for the June contracts. So when I get into the trades right now, overall the market looked like it spiked, made one leg, consolidation, second leg, bounce, sell off, bounce, kind of a sideways consolidation here, a sideways consolidation here for sure, and then move into the close. There's no economic data that came out today to really move the markets. So the pre-market, it bounced up or rallied up, moved sideways, had a breakout here, came back down, pushed up what I thought was this orange up channel as a breakout, kind of 2 legs back, and it kind of made a continuation or just kind of like this broken orange up channel, sell off, and then a kind of a slightly more shallow red up channel. So then the market opens. This is the pre-market high, comes down. It's a first entry long, pullback, second entry long. I thought there might have been a trade here. I called it a possible setup because it looks like it's hitting some kind of support here. It's bouncing potentially a triple test off of, depending how you drew it, but there's kind of like a bounce off the support. Break of the green down channel, made one attempt down, made a second attempt down. It didn't quite meet the extreme, but it starts reversing back up, and it's a strong push with a good signal bar close. It's right at the EMA, but the EMA itself is a little flat. So I think it's a probably more aggressive possible trade. You get a higher low here, but it's too far from the setup now. It's already pressing into potential resistance point. So right here, or this higher low. So and then prices continue moving. Moves up this green up channel. Looks like it's also 2 legs up. Looks like it might be the top of a resistance trading range area. Moves down to this orange down channel. Looks like it's spike and a gradual channel down. So what I see in real time, kind of moving nicely and orderly in this yellow down channel. There's a lower high here because there was a new low. It's a first entry short, second entry short. Doesn't quite make the next bottom. And it creates a lower high. I called it an almost trade because it does fit nicely in this yellow down channel, but I really wanted a touch rejection off the EMA. And this is pretty tight. There's enough for 1 point scalp, but just barely for 2. So I call it, kind of an almost trade. Prices then continue moving down, bounces off the bottom. And this actually sets up for my first trade. So it's a new low. It's bouncing off this low side of this established yellow down channel. It's a first entry short pullback. I thought this is a second entry short setting up. So actually when it broke below, I jumped in on this trade right here. And it's a break of this yellow down channel. It broke, made one attempt, and made a second attempt, and I thought it made a measured move. So I'm expecting a test of this yellow down channel low. Now, in hindsight, this is kind of a doji, so I really shouldn't have jumped in on this trade. Plus, the doji's kind of right at the EMA. I jumped in, and then it pushes up on the same candle and stops me out because this is where my stop is. But then it sets up an even better, more clean second entry short right here. It's a visual first entry short, technical second entry short here, but I saw a visual first entry, second entry. This red down channel doesn't exist. This looks like it's still 2 legs up exceeding it. I like that it moved 2 ticks above, flushed down, closed at the low, likely enough for a quick scalp. So I thought this is actually a better trade, but I just took a loss here. And as you can see, there's a timestamp, and this happens about 1 minute later, or close to 2 minutes later, and I wasn't really mentally quite set after taking that loss. And it looks like it would have worked for even 2 points, pushes down. So unfortunately, this is too early off a bad signal bar, and this is much better if I'd been more patient on a good signal bar, better visual second entry short. Pushes down, bounces, and this actually sets up for my second trade. So So it's actually a new low here. Technically, you have a first entry short, you have a second entry short. I saw this as a lower high, but you could also say this is a count reset, first entry short, second entry short. So I saw this as the EMA holding prices down. And I thought this signal bar isn't the best, but I entered it anyways. Now, there's a bunch of things in hindsight that I should have considered, but I kind of neglected or I just didn't want to accept it at the time. Now, this close of this signal bar, because this is confirmed second entry short now, this signal bar closed right at the midpoint. So that's already kind of telling you to be a little careful because there is still some buyers pushing it up. This break of this green up channel only tested once, so it could make a second attempt up. So I did enter on this candle before it closed like this. And if I did take this, this probably would have worked for 1 point scalp. I don't think I would have necessarily gotten out here, but I would have gotten out here. But if I didn't, I was going for a 2 point scalp, so I was actually looking for something pressing to the lower. And this actually went 1.75. So this actually, I'm looking for 8 ticks and only went 7 right here. If it had gone a little bit more, I would have gotten it. So the problem with this is, okay, so first of all, this could test and move up to the high. I was trusting too much on the EMA. It is coming off of potential overshoot because this is what my channel was initially, a little tighter. So that should have given me pause. And then later, of course, I dragged it down to here. But let's just play it off of here for now. The second thing that's kind of interesting is if I only went for 1 point, it would have been perfect. If I saw this follow through and I didn't take it here and I waited for the close, I likely would have entered on this candle 1 tick below. And then this here would have stopped me out like it did here. So push down, I kept my stop above this guy because this seemed like the obvious resistance point, pushes up and stops me out. So I think whether I got stopped out on this one, taking this setup here, or after the close of this guy, I think this is a losing trade. So I think, to be honest, today I for sure would have lost on this trade or lost on this setup. And I think I would have taken it probably after here. But in hindsight, yes, I should have thought maybe one push up, second push up, since this is an overshoot or break here. Pushes up, comes back down, bounces, looks pretty good. Now it's starting to push down a little further. So I actually drag this out a little bit. And it keeps pushing, no clean second entries. I misspoke. I might have kept it a little bit higher here. And then when I saw this down here, that's likely when I dragged this to make it a larger channel here. Bounces, still first entry, kind of hits this sideways consolidation. There's no real clean second entries. You could be playing range rules, but you really only have 2 tests here, not a triple test. Pushes out, potential fail breakout, push back in, but overall, the whole day has been bearish. So I'm not really looking to go long necessarily. Kind of hits sideways, pushes up, breaks above the EMA, but then pushes out. So it looks like it's one leg pullback, second leg, but still no clean second entries. By the time you get this second entry short here, it's way above the EMA. I'm thinking this green up channel is going to break and test the high, so I'm not necessarily ready to go short. Of course, I'm not ready to go long yet either, because I'm thinking this red down channel wants to test the low. So I'm just waiting. It's a first entry long. Here it creates a second entry long. And I actually thought this is actually a decent setup. Excuse me. So this is a big push up on the green. Whether you had a overshoot or not, it looks like it's one big leg. First attempt up, pull back. This could be a second attempt. Bounce off the EMA, potential triple test. Bounce off the EMA, good engulfing trigger bar, because this is your signal bar. It moved 2 ticks down, engulfed it, and closed the high. Probably enough for a quick 1 point scalp, and it would have worked. Pushes up, and I chop sideways. You have a second entry long here, but this is a count reset because I saw it as a first entry, potential second entry, but I did also count it as a potential count reset, so I wasn't too keen on it just yet. It looked like it would have worked for 1 point scalp, but not for a 2 point, and you would have gotten stopped out, or I would have gotten stopped out here. Prices move down on this orange down channel break, kind of moves sideways, a little noisy. I saw this as a potential second entry short, but it's an almost trade. Because this orange down channel broke, test the low a second time, and for the most part, it looks like it's just sideways here. It looks something like this. Pushes up. Whether it's going to come back down or not, I wasn't sure because I also was thinking is this kind of in this poorly fitting leg like this. So go ahead and change the color of that. So I wasn't really sure, so I wasn't mentally ready to take this trade. Plus, I already took 2 losses, and I don't take any more trades if I get 2 losses. So I wasn't really, but I was still looking at the charts, imagining if the setup was there and I was able to trade, would I take it? Pushes down. You don't get a lower high till about right here, but the lower high is kind of bullish on a red bar. Top sideways, it starts moving up this green up channel. Break, test the high, and it comes back. Test the high a second time. So now I'm thinking actually we're in a trading range. There's a break of the green up channel, test the high twice, moving sideways. I'm seeing a potential triple test. This is the triple test that I was talking about, or the one that this moves slightly, but I think this is a possible trade. Break of the green up channel, test 2 times to the high, good signal bar down. Prices are coming from the top of the range. Overall bias seems to be sideways, so I'm not necessarily thinking this is going to come back down now. This break of the green has tested the high. Break of the orange has tested the low. Break of the green has tested the high again. So I'm thinking it's just probably just going to be another price move back down. So this would, and plus this is a 9-tick candle, so it's small, manageable risk. It looked like it would have worked. Bounces back up. I saw this right immediately after, and I was thinking, is there a triple test here? But I don't like the way this one closed. The prices move up. Fail breakout here. Hits the low. Pushes it up again. Another fail breakout, and starts moving back down. So you do have a first entry long here by the technical count. Second entry long here if it's a bad signal bar. Nothing here should tell you to go long right now because it's a bad signal bar. Potentially still within this leg. Top sideways, continues moving down. Starts moving up, breaks above the EMA. So it's technically first entry short, second entry short. This is signal bar to go short, or this is your signal bar of the second entry short, but this isn't a very good signal bar. It's bullish right at the EMA, nothing here. Pops around. I saw this as a higher low, but this is just a higher low that I noticed because I saw it's a new high, first entry long pullback, second entry long, higher low, not much room to this potential localized high. So I wasn't really too excited about this. I did have this drawn as a trend line and I turned it into a channel a little bit shortly after I drew it. But I was more concerned about this higher low with the second entry long breaking below the EMA. EMA itself is a little sideways, so it's not offering much, I guess, information or much help on your argument to go long. Prices move up, kind of chop sideways. There's a clear break of this orange up channel. First attempt long. This could be a second entry long, but then the follow through creates a double high. So I don't really quite like that. If this one broke slightly above, maybe. But I also have to keep in mind that this is the first breakout of this orange. So they could create a symmetrical break on this side. So even if this broke slightly higher, I'd be hesitant. It does break up high, but it looks like it closed rather bearish. Then it flushes down. So you can see it's a visual first entry, second entry. Also looks like one leg but pull deck. This could be the break of this purple down channel and it's tested low. It could move back up and maybe test the high of this orange, but I don't really see anything. These candles aren't really helping either argument. Top sideways, pushes down, and it has a big push down here. Starts moving. I believe at this point I drew it as a sideways price action. New low, first entry short. Pull back, second entry short. Almost touches the EMA, but I was a little weary because my trading range was actually initially higher. Actually, I already have a line here. I drew it. This is where my original bottom of the trading range was. And I was thinking the range started here. It's like an overshoot spike, starts moving in. I'll go ahead and just put it there for now. I was thinking this is the channel I'm working with right now. So there's no room to the lows here. Starts reversing. Clearly, I'm in a range now. And then it creates this multiple test. And I thought this is a viable trade because after seeing this and so many violations below, excuse me, I actually dragged this down to here. I said, the range could potentially be right here. And I thought each subsequent break of this trading range is creating lower highs. And it's failing to break through the EMA. The EMA is starting to hold prices down. So yes, this could be a support area, but it looks like it's pressing, taking chances and pushing down. So it is a potential for 1 point scalp here. So I actually thought this is a possible trade. Excuse me. So it looks like it would have worked. Bounces, fail breakout here, kind of moves sideways. Not the cleanest price action. You do have a new low, first entry short. Technically, you have a second entry short here. I'm not that excited about it because it just looks sideways right now. This one is also multiple tests, but this candle doesn't close as nicely as this. And these two were awesome. This one and this one were awesome candles. If only this one had closed at the low, then I think 100% this is like pretty super high probability trade. Kind of moves sideways, then kind of pushes up and into the close because this is the last 10 minutes. And so it kind of moved into the close. So overall, the price action, I got fooled. I think for sure this today was a 1.1 loss trade for sure if I didn't take that first one. The first one I should have been more patient, not taking it on doji. The second one I think I would have lost no matter what because if I didn't enter like I initially did, I believe I probably would have entered after this close thinking, oh, obviously it's moving back down. I probably put a one tick below this guy. Just get this out of the way. One tick below this guy would have filled me and likely stopped me out here. It just would have, my initial entry right here really wasn't that thought out. I mean, I thought it was decent first entry, but then it's not the best signal bar. Plus, I had to keep in mind that it could still break, test the highs of this, and this is only the first attempt up. This first trade, yeah, it wasn't the best one with this bad signal bar. If I only waited, this one would have yielded probably a run or two. So hopefully that was helpful.